Good day everyone, this is Junaid Khan and I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Today I'm going to talk about the recent interview Mark Miller, the Minister of Immigration in Canada, has done, and there are multiple topics to talk about, and I am not going to talk about all of them in one video. I will make multiple videos about it. So in this video, Mark Miller has mentioned about huge investments on asylum plans or towards the IRB, and what happened to the asylum claimants from Mexico and US border.
Canadian visa holders have dropped by 84% since June. Important to this is the refusal rate as part of the integrity measures that we put into place, which is about 61% for countries that we've noticed the highest level of abuse.
So, like you have watched in this video, there are huge investment plans according to the Honorable Minister Mark Miller has been advised, and $700 million, and out of that I have mentioned a few points here, that $159 million to the stability of the asylum system in Canada. It is very important to talk about this, particularly asylum in Canada, because before, what used to happen is a lot of people from Mexico and the US were taking asylum in Canada. A lot of people travel from US through the illegal borders and seek asylum, or the people who are, not the US citizen I'm talking about people who have the US visa at one point. They travel down to United States, and the system, the asylum system in United States are not very easy. It is a very complicated, very time-taking process. So people used to take asylums in Canada instead of taking it in the United States. So what used to happen is people go to the United States, cross the border by land, or enter from Quebec or from Ontario and then seek asylum. But there are, especially after the elections in the United States, and Donald Trump is the president currently now, he's been very strict about these people who have no documents with them in US. So the rush on Canadian borders, the asylum seekers from US to Canada has increased a lot after the election of Donald Trump elected as a president. So it was important to talk about what are the reforms Immigration Canada has been doing or trying to do in the system. Other than these two particular points, we have seen, like you have watched in the Mark Miller's video, that there was a significant drop from the asylum claimants from Mexico, and there was a significant drop from the US as well. But the story begins within now, that a lot of students are claiming, and a lot of people whose work permits or their temporary stays in Canada are set to expire in 2025. And other than these two states, other than the US and the Mexico, the problem starts within Canada, that a lot of people are trying to claim asylum, and a lot of students have done it so far, where Immigration Canada and IRB have not seemed very comfortable, and the Mark Miller has also said that this is a loophole they're trying to get benefit from, because once you seek asylum, definitely there's a set pattern, there's a set process need to be followed before immigration decide to deport anyone or cancel the claim, or after the hearing it'll be decided that if you are going to be a protected person in Canada or not. So this process takes about a year or so. So that means if someone is claiming asylum in Canada, that means they have bought a time for themselves. Now they can stay in Canada, they can work in Canada, and definitely they'll be given an handsome amount to take care of themselves while they're staying in Canada and trying to be a protected person. So instead of or talking about the millions of dollars spent on this system. Definitely the system is yet to be refined again. I have heard Mark Miller saying that they are trying to put in a process where when a person put in their asylum application, they don't have to wait years, or they don't have to wait at least like months and months to get their hearing and to get their final decision from Canada. Either they are going to be a protected person or not. So they're trying to implement a process where when you put in the claim, and if IRB does not think that your claim is legitimate, they will try to cancel your claim and they will give you the results right away. So in that way, you don't have to wait for a longer period of time. People don't have to wait, and Canada doesn't have to take care of those people for extended period of time, because this is what happened. Once you put in your claim, there are multiple things that comes into the play where Canada needs to play a role, that they needs to provide you the basic shelter, the basic needs, the rent facilities. They have to provide a shelter to the person who have basically put in the claim. And last couple of months I've heard the news as well. I've probably shared on my social media that Trudeau government is trying to convert some of the hotels into the shelter places for the people who are seeking asylum. So this is sort of a burden on an economy, plus on a government as well, that the higher number of asylum seeker in the country, they have to provide them certain amount of facilities. They have to provide them shelter, food, and the basic necessities of the life, until unless the court or the IRB decided otherwise, that if the person is not in the need of protection, then the case will be dismissed. But if the person is in need of protection, then definitely the case is approved and they can become a permanent resident of Canada after applying. I mean, there's a certain process. So definitely there are millions of dollars are going to spend on the IRB as well. Mark Millers have mentioned a significant drop from outside Canada, like people coming in from the Mexico and the US border, but they are still struggling from the people who are claiming asylum within Canada. I mean, they're already here. If we talk about, I've talked about in my previous videos as well, that there are 4.9 million people whose work permit or temporary stays are set to expire by the end of 2025. It's a huge number. And if you talk about 2024, there's a significant number where students have applied for their refugee status or applying for asylum. Other than that, people who came in on visitor visas or whose work permit are expiring, but they do not see any further process getting into the permanent residency. And they are trying to basically set up a situation where they can claim it, maybe buying some time. Some of the cases are legitimate. Also, I can't really talk about the legitimacy of the cases, but at the end of the day, it's going to be on the IRB. But when we see the hike of these claimants, the numbers, and we compare it to the previous years, it's more than double this year. So again, I have seen Mark Miller talking about the IRB, the pressure on the IRB. The House of Commons, the opposition is pretty much stressing about the people whose work permit are going to expire, or temporary visas are going to expire, and what are the processes to send them back. Are they voluntarily leave Canada, or the stress is going to be on CBSA. So this is all in one bracket. All of these parts are basically connected to each other. Are they going to leave? Are they going to take a loophole for asylum and put a pressure on IRB, or put a pressure on CBSA to take these people out of Canada? I mean, this is all what's going on right now. Last couple of months, I barely put a good news on my videos, to be honest. I hope there are going to be good news in upcoming year, but so far it has been a crucial tension in regards to getting the permanent residency, getting into the Canada. Mark Miller mentioned a 61% drop in the visitor visas application, but last year probably is going to get better in the coming year. And thank you very much.